Hello, I interviewed Catherine Fernandez. She's a manager at the Carlisle Group. She started working there a few months ago, and before working at the Carlisle Group, she worked as a project management at a pharmaceutical consulting service company. She's the only female, Hispanic, and the youngest on her team. So her primary goal is to increase diversity because she believes that a diverse workforce provides the company new perspective.
Okay. So my manager is Pedro Hernandez, and he is in education. He started out as a teacher about maybe 5 or 6 years ago. He taught for 3 years in elementary, and then he went into instructional technology in Central Virginia. After working there for a few years, he moved up to Manassas, Virginia, and he currently serves as the supervisor for instructional technology. One of the things that's very important to him as he's leading us as instructional technologists is to talk to us about how we make technology more available to students, regardless of their educational background, regardless of their economic background. And it's very important to him that we address those on a school-based system. There's a team of 8 of us that he oversees, and although we do have a lot of flexibility in how we implement policy and how we implement technology in the building, he's very clear about the vision of making sure that every student has their needs met regardless of their backgrounds.
The manager I interviewed for my paper was Jeff Dawson, which is a warehouse manager for one of the warehouses in Landover, Maryland at Costco. I previously worked for the company, so I was really interested in reassessing kind of my perspective of the company and the managerial strategies that the different managers pursued. Jeff was with the company, has been with the company for over 20 years. He kind of started out at the very bottom, pushing carts out on the lot and working his way through the company. One of the things that he definitely strives to maintain is diversity. Of course, it is a company policy. It is something that the company really holds dear, really diversifying their workforce, not just for the purpose of creating a better environment for the members who shop there, but also for just the individuals, so that the company can create a better environment for the people who come in there and work there every day. And really have a better understanding of where everyone's coming from so that they want to stay.
So the manager that I interviewed was a man named Eric Eckelman. He's got over 40 years as a human resources manager and director in the shipbuilding industry. He went to Nebraska and then Ball State for his MBA, and got picked up by Huntington Ingalls Newport News Shipbuilding. After they assured him that Newport News did not mean he was going to be working for a newspaper, he moved to Virginia and started working at the shipyard in labor relations. So he did a lot of work in developing labor agreements for the big 3 labor unions out here. That's firemen, ship, metal workers, and welders. So that was what he did for about 8 years, and he moved up to a more senior management role. And in that role, he ended up working his way for over about 15 years to being the director of human resources for the entire shipyard. So 33,000 people total. During that time, he had to lay off over 13,000 of them due to downturns in the economy in the early 90s. He came to us at about his 36-year point in industry. And he's also a close personal friend. I work with him every day. So I get to see what his insight is on all the different business decisions. His primary focuses are on making human resources a business partner to the profit and loss portions of our group, and also strengthening diversity within our workforce. When he showed up, we had a grand total of 1 female, no minorities, and executive staffing. throughout the course of his tenure in the last 3.5 years, we're now about 25% female or minority, and our growth is off the charts because we're able to actually use everybody's influence. All right, that concludes the portion of our presentation that is the introduction. And one common thing that we noticed that we all had was diversity in the workplace and the importance of these managers to push diversity, not only for the customer base, but also for the health of the company as a whole. And that's what we really chose as our discussion point going forward. So I'll kick it off with a question. How do you guys see that that the managers that you are working with or that you interviewed not only require desire diversity, but help push for it?
Well, I'll start by talking a little bit about what Mr. Hernandez does. So with Pedro, it's very important that Pedro's his first name. With Pedro, it's very important that everything that we do meets the needs of every member of the community. Our group of ITTSs includes people, men and women, and also people of color, as well as people from all walks of life in terms of socioeconomic status. And it's interesting because it also reflects the diversity of our stakeholders and the diversity of our clients, in this case, our students. And so what's interesting is there's a great strength in that. And what he talked to me about specifically was his leadership style as it pertains to gaining from that strength. In other words, being able to take a look at where things are, take a look at a problem, or take a look at a situation as it arises, and putting all the resources on the table to meet that need. And one of the major resources he talked about were the different skill sets and the different backgrounds of the people on the team.
Okay.
I'll piggyback off of that. With my manager, Jeff, he certainly made it a point to try and hire more women managers. I think starting out, when the warehouse first opened, there were predominantly male managers. And he definitely, it was something that he expressed to me, outside of this interview, but in the past, that he definitely wanted to have an array of managers who were going to be able to better relate to their employees, to just the staff in general. And he made mention something about, it being like 2015 and, at the time when we had this conversation. And that it was important for, a business to reflect today's day and age.
After comment on that, by interviewing my manager, I learned that she believes that because company now have offices across the world, having a diverse workplace will help the company better understand their clients and provide the company with different perspectives from what they have outside the country.
So one thing that we looked at, because I'm on many of the hiring boards for a lot of our senior management, and along with my manager, Eric, or the manager I interviewed, Eric. And so we've hired an African-American finance manager, several female project managers, which is almost unheard of in our, and the reason I say it's unheard of is our contracts don't really allow you to be a project manager unless you've been on a submarine. And so just recently, we finally got in a crop of the first group of women that have gone through and become submarine qualified, have gotten out of the Navy, and now they're available. So the second that happened, they freed up, we got the first female out of the Navy. We hired her immediately. And she didn't even interview for the job. She was interviewing for another job as our engineering manager. But during the interview, Eric leaned over and elbowed me and said, "Hey, she doesn't fit for this job, but don't let her walk out of this building. Hire her as a project manager immediately." And so we walked out of the interview, I grabbed her, I scooted her over to the next interview room, and we made her job. So as a second question, what benefit have the managers that you interviewed seen from increased diversity in the workforce?
I remember when I was speaking with Jeff, he definitely made it a point to express just the different ideas and just how having diversity really makes it easier to relate to people. He talked about coming from New England and being in a pretty homogeneous area, and how moving to the DMV area and seeing so much more diversity, not just in his staff, in the people people that he lives near, but even people who shop at his warehouse, that having a diverse staff makes it so much easier to better equip and better serve the people that are shopping at the stores every day.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think one of the things that's most valuable about diversity in our team, and Pedro talks about this, he was talking about the idea that when you go to solve a problem, you want to have as much information as you can, and you want to avoid the idea that everyone's talking about the same thing and they're coming from the same experience, so there's really not a lot of creativity taking place. So what he encourages is not necessarily that he's looking for this, but when he's seeking members of his team, he encourages those to apply who have different experiences or different backgrounds than his own, so that they can bring more knowledge and bring more experience of other aspects of the world to his team, especially since the students that we're serving and the teachers that we're working with are also from a very diverse background.
My manager believes that having diversity on the company betters the company performance due to the company knowledge growing and expanding.
Okay. Eric, manager I interviewed, he always tries, so he's an old white guy, so he knows that he's, as he tries to fix the problem, he is, still adding to the problem. But he always pushes to have different ideas in the room, and increasing the amount of minorities and females has helped us immensely in several ways. Number one, contractually. There are government contracting rules that say that you have to meet a certain EEO allowance. And while people may balk at that and say, this is affirmative action and helps hold back the workforce, we have not seen that. What we've seen is by increasing the amount of women in leadership and minorities in leadership, we've expanded our business. We've determined new places where we can hire new individuals. We've developed ties with new local colleges that we hadn't known before, and that were predominantly minority. And so it's given us a more robust labor force, and it's also given us the ability to go after different, more lucrative contracts. So thus giving us competitive advantage that we did not have before with a really homogenous workforce. All right, that about finishes up our discussion. We don't want to go too long. Do any of you guys have any final comments?
I think you said it best. Competitive advantage is really important, and having diversity really helps, keep new blood in there to really help maintain that.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for your attention, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.